We got SunsGeek and Matthew listening on the pod tonight. The Suns take home. Actually, they were home, right? They take home another victory, 106-102. They avoid a 3-game losing streak for the first time. I think it was early in the season when they were 1-4. They started with a 3-game losing streak. Didn't happen tonight. How are you feeling tonight, SunsGeek?
Oh, I'm feeling so good, man. We're going to dive into it, but I am hyped, especially after that scuffle. Let's go, Suns.
Yeah, I know. The tempers were flaring. It was crazy. Those reviews, 10 minutes of that. And then nothing happened. You know, that's going to actually be in my burn book. A little bit of I have some stuff I want to talk about with the refs. But yeah, let's get into the pod.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
106-102. Without Devin Booker, without Jalen Green tonight, also without Colin Gillespie, the Phoenix Suns still hold on tonight, and they beat a New Jersey Nets. New Jersey Nets. That's funny. The Brooklyn Nets. We're actually watching highlights. They were showing the New Jersey Nets game against the Phoenix Suns, and the question was, they were in New Jersey before. They went to the finals 3 times in a row, and they lost to the Lakers every time. Wasn't that it?
Or was it
2 times?
Twice, but it felt like 3 times because they were really good in the early 2000s and kind of mid 2000s too. So yeah,
they were. We'll call them the New Jersey Nets tonight. It doesn't matter because no one even knows they exist, so I don't think it fucking matters.
That's one of my all-time favorite games, by the way. If you haven't seen that, go check out those highlights. That's one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, you know what? I think every game back then is, especially during that era with Steve Nash, those are probably the best games. I mean, the high scoring doesn't look real because back then, before HD, and we're like, what are we watching here? But you know what? They were scoring 120 points a game back then. But that gets me to my first question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
All right, my first question actually has to deal with the injuries that, came about with Jalen Green leaving last game, Devin Booker leaving last game, and also, just Colin Gillespie a late scratch. Was it worrying you a little bit heading into this game? Maybe be a trap game against the New Jersey Nets? I'm just going to call them New Jersey Nets. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a trap game against the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. A little bit because I've always been a big believer in this. I'm sure I've said it on both of our pods and channels. A lot of times I'm going to continue to say going forward. You can lose on any given night, and tonight was a great example of that. Yes, the Brooklyn Nets are a terrible team. They lost by like 1 million points against the New York Knicks like recently, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they just lost their 6th in a row. That does not matter. The NBA is so good nowadays, especially on the offensive end, that you can lose on any given night. We've seen it before. It's going to happen again, even to the best teams in the league. It's going to happen. And this was just another prime example of that. Even the last time we played the Brooklyn Nets, I think we only beat them by 9 points. So like that just goes to show that the NBA is so talented. And like we'll talk about the Nets throughout this podcast and everything, but this is a long, versatile team who can put up points. They're used to being down, so they're going to play their hearts out, and that's what they did tonight. They hung in there throughout like most of this game.
Yeah, and I think the fans too with the Nets, they want to be competitive, but they also want to lose games. Right now, they're projected to be number 5 in the lottery, so that's kind of where they want to be, but maybe top 3. They want to lose, but they have MPJ, who's going to be an all-star, which is crazy because I feel like these guys are going to be all-stars now because they have good stats and they're on bad teams, which was exactly what Devin Booker was about 5 or 6 years ago, but he could not get in the all-star game. So that's kind of the agenda now. Put these guys in All-Star. And out east, it makes sense because there's not really anybody there. I think Desmond Bane has a chance to make the All-Star game. And I don't know. He's like seriously like the last shoe-in to make it. And I don't think his stats are not nearly as good as they were prior to joining the Magic. So I do want to talk about, obviously, the good stuff of the game. But I'm going to start with the burn book first.
The Suns Jam Session Burn Book.
The Suns Jam Session Burn Book.
I usually don't like to talk about refs. I don't like to talk about the dog's going crazy.
It's okay, man.
Post-game
My
interview.
dogs do
my
that
light's
too,
shaking
man.
too, dude. It's going crazy over here. I'm literally on top of the kennel podcasting, and the dog's going nuts.
It's okay, man. If you guys are new to my channel, or if you've been around my channel, you guys know that my dogs have had blow-ups like that before. So
well, this one probably won't stop, so it's just going to be on the pod, and I have nothing. I don't know what to do. So
all good, man.
1 second, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay on the screen. I'm going to shut this thing up. But what's your first burn book from the game? Is there any bad takeaways from you watching this game tonight?
Yeah, a few of them. I'm gonna, and I'm sure we're gonna get into it. I'm sure you're gonna have a segment on it if you can control the dog. But I'm surprised that nobody got ejected when during that scuffle, and it just goes to show. Like I know you're gonna be talking about it too, but the referees are just insufferable, especially when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, man. Like Dylan Brooks getting a flagrant foul for like a quote hostile act when he was just going for the ball. Like I think it was under Nick Claxton's legs or something like that. And then everything we saw with the scuffle, man, like the NBA and the officiating just continues to be a sore subject, like a black eye, you know what I mean? And I love this sport. I love the NBA. I love the Phoenix Suns. But like the fact that we know referees' first and last names is not a good thing. The NBA needs to do something about it. And they always seem to pick on the Phoenix Suns. And another thing too, I'm sure we'll talk about it. The Phoenix Suns defense has been great in a lot of areas, especially statistically. Unfortunately, though, they do struggle to get stops. And that might be kind of painful down the road when we start playing some of these good teams, which I think like 5 out of our next 6 are against pretty damn good teams, like the Pistons, for example. So that's some of my burn book there.
Yeah, and on their road trip too, losing to the Pistons. Who did they lose to? Did they lose to the Hawks? But also they lost to the first game. Was it who was it that they played?
I think it was
the
Miami.
Heat. Yeah, those were close games. They couldn't close it out, but you kind of felt like those are teams that they're better than right now in the power rankings, which I hate. They're number 6. I think they moved down in the ESPN power rankings, which is better than we all thought, of course, heading into this year. But they're also a team that's still trying to figure things out with injuries, the closing lineup. How is Jalen Green going to fit in really defensively with Devin Booker, which obviously I feel like those two can handle themselves pretty well. But in the end, I feel like this team needs that 20-game stretch where they can show that they can go on a 5-6 game win streak again, pull it back together and kind of bring us back in. Because tonight it might have been the 3rd loss in a row, and you really don't know how the fan base is going to take that. Like, are we going to kind of sink with the ship a little bit here and there until the injuries, till the guys come back from injuries, or else are we going to be okay and just know we have to wait this thing out? But luckily they did get the victory. But you brought up the refs. I did want to talk about too, just the reviews. Man, we sat through, like I mentioned at the beginning of the pod, we sat through the reviews of 5 technicals. The Suns got 1 free throw. Grayson Allen misses the free throw, but we're sitting there for 10 minutes. Nothing happens. He misses it. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like next year, they have to do something with these reviews. I think they have to go away, just kick them aside. Maybe they have them in the last 3 minutes of the game, maybe. But all game long, everything's reviewed. Everything's a flagrant. I'm sick of watching him. I feel like if I went on a date with the NBA, the red flag really would be these reviews all game long and just heading into a timeout like the next 2 minutes. Like there's so many breaks. So I don't know if that's because they want to give these guys breaks throughout the game and just review stuff, have them kind of stay a little bit more energized throughout the game. But I can't stand it, man. Like I've been watching, I know I haven't been on the pod, but I've been watching a lot of basketball, holding the baby, just watching it at night. And I'm always just like shrugging, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we reviewing everything? I know it's part of the game right now. I know they want to stop fights. They don't want to get fined and all that stuff, these players. But right now, like, it's just not appealing to me. I hate it. I cannot stand it. And I feel like if you're Adam Silver and everyone's talking about a podcast so they can't stand it, just get rid of it. Get rid of the review, because obviously nothing happened. It was the technicals happened, but there was no points added. Just wait till the end of the game and just assign the flagrants or technicals. Like, I'm just sick of watching it, aren't you?
No, I 100% agree. Like, do it after the game. Like, that's what I'm kind of curious about too. I wonder if there's going to be at least a fine or two, because I don't know. Like, I'm going to have to go back and look at it, even though we looked at it for 10 freaking minutes. But I think Suns assistant coach Damari Carroll was pushed, and I'm sure there were some other assistants that were pushed in that giant scuffle when you saw every coach run out there on the floor. But yeah, like do it after the game, man. Like I love Sawbuck's comment there. You guys don't watch NBA games for the ref reviews? Like, what are we doing here, man? It's true though. Like these guys are glued to their screens. It needs to be addressed. Now they have like those little microphones connected to them while they're while they're refereeing and stuff. And it always just, I know I sound like a biased Suns fan homer, but it's like it always seems like it's against the Suns too, man.
Yeah.
Because these guys were pushing and shoving all night, but yet we were getting called for the fouls, and then all that stuff with Dylan Brooks, who I'm sure we can talk about later. It just sucks, man. But hopefully Adam Silver and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum and the rest of the NBA can figure it out, man, because it's just getting bad, dude. Again, the fact that we know referees by their first and last names is not good. Like, do something about Adam Silver.
I mean, it's just part of the control of the game, but it doesn't make a difference. Like, I want to go back somehow and track these flagrants and technicals and be like, okay, so a flagrant was called after a review. Did that make a difference in the game? Did it turn the game? Did it do anything? Because there was one in the beginning of the game with Dylan Brooks where he reached for the ball, hit the guy in the nuts, but then they called it a flagrant, right? They reviewed it. It's a flagrant. But originally they called it a flagrant. Yeah. So, like, we're watching the review, or we're watching them review it, and then it's still a flagrant. It's like, why are we wasting so much fucking time? Like, let's get over it. Like, just play the game. Like, continue the pace. Like, it's good basketball, good athletes out there. The NBA would be better for it, but you know what? We have to get rid of this somehow. And I think this offseason there has to be something, because there's been an uproar, especially from me. And I never talk about refs. The last 4 seasons we've done this pod, I'm like, I'm not talking about the refs. I don't care. The Suns should have won the game, but now it's just frustrating, dude. So,
and you know how you said like I don't know if you meant to say this, but you said something like, oh, the refs are like giving them a break a little bit. I don't think that's good for the game either, because if I'm sure you've played basketball, you stop for 5 short minutes. You're like, okay, let's freaking go. I'm starting to get cold over here. Like, you got to keep playing. Like, come on, man. So they definitely got to do something about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm glad you're on my side with that. Anything else you have for the burn book? I know it's a victory for the Suns, but right now there's a lot of injuries going on. There's, they're sliding down the standings a little bit. But if you look at the standings, I mean, the biggest win streak out there right now is 2 games. The Nuggets have a 2-game win streak. The Lakers just jumped the Suns, but the Wolves just jumped the Suns too. Suns are in the 7th seed. Does that worry you at all? Because I feel like right now we're managing it, because I feel like the Suns will finish the season and probably be a 6th seed. But does it bother you when they fall back into the 7th seed? Does that scare you at all? Because I feel like we were going to play with the 10th seed. It's not going to be very good, so it doesn't matter. But if you had to choose right now, like looking at the standings, are you just want to do the 6th seed, 7th seed, depending on who you want to face, or how are you looking at it right now with the standings?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of talked about this recently on a live show, and I'm like, I feel like for the most part, 1 through 10 are set, but it really just depends on the order, because as you just mentioned, the Suns were like the 6th seed. Now they're the 7th seed. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be the 5th seed, but like it's going to keep flip-flopping. Teams are going to go on win streaks, losing streaks. It's going to keep on jumping. There's a lot of great teams in the Western Conference. I've always been a believer in just win as many games as you possibly can and worry about the play-in tournament later once we get closer to that. We have a lot of home games coming up, which we should be thankful for, because we have a lot of injuries right now, which goes in my burn book, just the injury bug in general. But yeah, just win every game you can. And once we get to maybe late March-ish, April, that's when I'm going to be like, okay, we may not want to be in that 7th seed, because we might have to play this team or that team, but take it one game at a time. I do know that we're now, I think, 15-6 at home, which that's a pretty damn good record. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's true. And the home court thing too in the NBA in the playoffs, I don't think I really believe in it too much. Obviously with the Suns losing in game 6 in the finals at home or game 5, like, it's one of those things where it was a must win and just they couldn't take care of business there. So it doesn't really make any sense to me to where I'm going to worry about the Suns getting a top 4 seed. I think just getting into the top 6 is very important, but it's still very early. You don't know how these teams are going to turn around. Right now, the Clippers are one of the hottest teams that they're talking about, obviously with Kawhi Leonard playing out of his mind. But the Suns have just to worry about themselves, move on. Luckily, the injuries aren't too bad. They can get their guys back. But yeah, that's all I have from the burn book. And, other than the big zit on my chin, I think we can move on to the bright side.
Tell me the bright side.
All right, it has to start with this guy.
Yeah, Mark Williams is a bad man. Yeah,
ripping rebounds, blocking shots, playing like a madman. Yeah, crowd go wild when he raised that hand. Pain in the paint, that's the master plan. Bad man.
The Suns did play the New Jersey Nets, so I think anything kind of you got to take with a grain of salt. But Mark Williams was one of the guys, a hot topic from Suns fans, Suns media, talking about getting him more involved in the offense. Obviously, tonight he has the option because you just have Dylan Brooks and you have him. That's basically the two guys at the roll with. Grayson Allen, that's your third guy. But Mark Williams tonight was 13 of 15. He had the 5 total rebounds. He had 1 assist, 2 tonight, but it's a 27 points tonight for Mark Williams. That's season high. This is kind of what you want to see from him, being more aggressive with the ball. But how do you think that plays into those guys returning? I know Jalen Green, let's just not worry about that because that might be more fragile. He might be playing every other game. Yeah. But with Booker coming back and Gillespie's, are they going to try to look for him to get more involved, give him the ball up top? Because I feel like he can be that guy. It's not the sexiest offensive moves that he has out there, but there's something about him that you trust with the ball. You know he can score if he's down low in the posts. His energy is always high. So does he think he's that guy now? That's like a third option when those other guys returning?
I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, I would like to believe that Mark Williams would believe in himself to be a third option, but like I've always been a believer in like get your big man the ball, but that's honestly kind of matchup dependent because if Nikola Jokic is out there or something, or like Joel Embiid, who I think's been playing great as of late, like, you know, sometimes we've seen Mark Williams kind of fade out in those games and like Oso finishes those games, for example. But sort of matchup dependent. But like, and like, you know, you did mention it, like it's the Brooklyn Nets. You got to take it with a grain of salt. But I loved what I saw tonight. And I'm glad you mentioned the 1 assist because that was part of my bright side. Was that 1 assist was on a really good defensive play. Mark Williams stole the ball, hustled down court and found Royce O'Neal for the dish, and Royce O'Neal scored. So glad that you mentioned that. But yeah, he was doing great out there, man. First possession of the game, took it to the paint and just tried to score the ball. He had a couple of lobs tonight. He was just doing everything out there, man, just being a bully in the paint. But to kind of answer your question, I think it's just matchup dependent. It depends on who we're playing. There's going to be nights where Mark Williams will have great games like this against better teams, and we've seen that because even though it was against the Brooklyn Nets, this was arguably his best game as a Sun, if not top 5 best game as a Phoenix Sun since he's been with us. And I think tonight was his 42nd game played. I think his career high is only 44. Someone fact check me on that. I could be wrong about that. But since we're talking about the injury bug earlier and all that, it's really great to see him healthy and just playing well, playing such a productive role, producing out there, being a good leader, and just being like, we've seen it a few times this season where he hasn't blocked the ball. He's ripped down the ball. I don't think I saw DeAndre Ayton do that much. Just saying.
No, I haven't seen that since MJ did it with the Wizards. When he was back on the Wizards, I remember him grabbing a block I think it was off the backboard. And like you don't see that ever. And it's smart, right? I always think about that too. Like, why swat it out of bounds where you can just grab it? I think it's obviously something that the fans get up for, but I get up for the guy grabbing it as an offense or a defensive rebound too at the same time. Like, it's something that gets the flow of the offense going, picks up the pace, you know, catches the defense on their heels. Like, it's a perfect way to kind of end the defensive possession, just grabbing the block. Like, if you can actually do that, you have the hands for it, the grip. Why not? And I'm going to go to a little chat here, $4.99, donated to in the super chat. Thank you very much. Parker Hines, 3796, the year he was born. Rather get a lobotomy than those refs ref another game. Yeah, I guess so. I think that the thing is this year, I think the refs are just bad and overall. I don't think I've really watched the game. Maybe a few here and there that I'm going to say, okay, they did a pretty good job, but they are kind of frustrating at times. And thank you for the super chat. Obviously, earlier we already talked about this, and I don't really want to go over it again, but there is something here where maybe after the All-Star break, things kind of change a little bit. Maybe it's not as intense. Obviously, you can't change the rules with the reviews, but maybe there's a lot of calls where they're not going to be as reviewed. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. We'll have to wait till next season probably, right? Who else do you have in your bright side, man? I know we start off with Mark Williams, but is there another player that really caught your eye?
Curious, do you guys have a Jamari Bouye drop?
You know what? I was thinking that when we were watching it, and it's been probably about 6 games since I've been on here. I don't see one because I did check. So maybe it's something else, but
he's in my bright side.
Leave their carts
Not that one. Okay. That was a Geico commercial, I think.
That's great. I love
Yeah.
that. We'll just pretend that's the Jamari Bouye drop.
Okay.
But you know what? He's in my bright side, man. And it really all started with him getting early minutes. Obviously, with the injuries, we're going to see guys that are in and out of the rotation get more minutes, and he's one of them. He's deserved to get more minutes this season because he's played really well for us. Been one of the pleasant surprises of this team. But he ends the first quarter on a chase down block. And I was like, that's so good. He had a couple possessions where he was on a fast break and took it all the way to the rim and scored. One of them, he like spun around and laid it up and in. He can hit big shots. He's really quick, really flashy. I've seen some people like on Twitter say like, he reminds me of like Ish Smith, who was one of my all-time favorite Phoenix Suns, or Leandro Barbosa, who was one of my all-time favorite Phoenix Suns. Like he's a fast, quick guard, little explosive, more athletic than he looks, and can shoot the ball to an extent too. So he played really well. I mean, I know he only finished with 10 points, but he also had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and like I mentioned, the block and a steal. So this guy keeps deserving minutes, man. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I think that he deserves to stay with us. And that's a conversation for another time, another podcast, but he's been so good for us, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a very confident player. I think if you look at this whole lineup, you know all these guys are very confident in what they do, and they have their own skills that they really hone in on. And he's one of them. Like, he knows what to do with the ball. I mean, a few times here and there, he might be a little bit careless with it, but I think they all get that way. But he believes in himself to finish at the rim, and that's very, very important. Like, even if there's guys attempting a shot, like he can get a shot over pretty much anybody if he wants, uses the glass really well. So you want to see that in your backup point guard. Because obviously with the injuries happening, you have to rely on a guy. And I think the 10 points were big. I feel like he had like a 20-point game. Like I was surprised he only had 10 points because I feel like he played so well.
Felt like that.
But always a shout out to him. I love his game so much. It's just like Livers, who is just in and out of lineup. Like he's like Isaiah Livers drives me nuts. He's like the guy you work with. That's just so fun to be there. And like he's a great worker. But then he just misses like every other day at work. It's like, where is he? Oh, he's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, he like twisted his ankle like getting out of his car. So he's gonna be in a few weeks. It's like, where is this dude? Because I love that guy's energy. Obviously he played well last game, but those two guys I love, and I don't think I've ever liked a team this much, this deep. Like it's been obviously one of my favorite teams so far. But for me, really, with the good stuff, you know, I have just one more thing. I think in the first half, the Suns, they had just the 9-point lead over the New Jersey Nets, but, you know, they were 2 for 10 from 3, which was not that great, but they didn't have to rely on it because, you know, they forced 10 turnovers. They had 14 points off turnovers. So I don't know if that's really just the Nets just doing what they do, but the Suns defense at times, especially at the last, I think it was the second to last possession from the Nets before MPJ shot the 3 and missed from the corner. Where they forced this guy. I don't even know his name. I don't care.
It's okay because they got like 5 rookies and a whole bunch of young players. It's okay.
And that's the thing when we play them. I'm like, I feel like they keep changing names every time I watch them. So, but no, he threw it behind his back and just kind of threw it out of bounds, or it was stolen. But just plays like that defensively, where you know it's behind Jordan Goodwin, a guy that's unstoppable defensively, where you know you can't block him out with any kind of screen. He kind of gets through in and out of guys defensively, where he's forcing the bad shot, forcing the bad pass, and you know it's incredible what that guy can do. But tonight's game was something that was much needed, a win, a victory over the Nets. Was there anything else that you took from this game that was good?
Yes, I need you to play the Grayson Allen drop.
Okay, I should have had that one ready to go.
Let me tell you a little story about a guy who shoots threes. Everyone hates him because he's a dookie. He's pretty underrated if you're asking me. His name is Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen, man. We do not win this game without Grayson Allen, man. And I think one reason we won this game was actually kind of late in the game. There was actually, I believe, 2 plays. One was just a simple lob pass to Mark Williams, and I think that might have put us up by 2 or 4, but it was like sometimes those like lobs get the crowd up and kind of get your team hyped up, and it was just a simple lob to Mark Williams late in the game, and then he had like a late shot. I think it was like a spin move where he just kind of laid it up and in. And I remember tweeting it out right after that. It was like a clutch shot. It helped win us the game. I was like, and that's another reason why you don't trade Grayson Allen, man. Like he hits those big, tough shots. We all know he can be a sniper from 3, and he's been great for us all season long. 34 minutes tonight, 18 points, 7 for 11 from the field. Only 2 made threes, but again, like the Phoenix Suns only made 5 threes as a team, which maybe we can talk about that later. But still, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, a little bit of playmaking sprinkled in there, and 1 steal. Played big minutes out there, hit some tough big shots. Did you see that one shot where he like was kind of on his pivot foot? I don't know how he like didn't get called for a travel, but he like kind of spun around and just kind of threw it up off the backboard and laid it in. I was like, he's hit a few shots like that during his son's career and this season where I'm like, how did you make that shot? How did you not get called for a travel or whatever?
Yeah.
He just continues to hit big shots, continues to play well. And, you know, I don't know how long Devin Booker is going to be out. Come back soon, Devin Booker. But Grayson should continue to start and continue to have big games like this. So he definitely makes my, you know, the Suns positives tonight.
Yeah, what is the travel anymore? I think they kind of just adjusted that. So there's been a lot of that this year. Yeah, I think the rules have kind of changed. I'm not sure. I'm probably wrong about that, but a lot of them, they do look like travels. Nothing's being called. But as long as they don't call them on the Suns and the rest of the league, it's all equal. I'm okay with it. Also, just tonight, I mean, Dillon Brooks, obviously, he played very well. He was 2 for 5 from 3, 9 for 15. He had the 26 points tonight.
Yep.
You know, he had the flagrant early that I talked about. So I think that obviously he has a target on his back from a lot of refs, and that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, he kind of presented himself this year as that guy. He hasn't been as threatening. I think it takes a lot of energy to be that every night, but he's been a little bit more just low key defensively. He's been nonstop, obviously, but he's hitting big shots, hitting big threes. Big ugly daggers with that ugly shot. I think is ugly. Sorry, a lot of people like it, but I think it looks horrendous. I do think that, you know, filling the role of Devin Booker is huge, and I think he can be the guy to step up. He's always going to take the shots. He might be 2 for 10, but only the 5 threes tonight, that's pretty nice. He wasn't really forcing it. Your thoughts on Dillon Brooks tonight?
Yeah, calm and in control. And I've talked about that on this podcast and on my show. Like when Dillon Brooks is calm and in control, like he's going to score a lot of points. And with the injury bug that we currently have, we're going to need him to score a lot of points. And, you know, even during that scuffle, he was smart. He laid down. He didn't really get involved until later because that's how much that scuffle had escalated. And yeah, like he's going to be chirping and barking at the refs and all that. Like I saw him a lot, like doing this tonight, like what the heck? Like I didn't do anything, blah, blah, or whatever. But like, that's fine. Like sometimes you need that fire, you need that energy. But he played really good tonight, man. Like you already read the stats, 26 points in 34 minutes. But really for me, it's the 9 for 15 shooting. Like that's just so under control, made some big shots when we needed him, was a big part of our offense. We all know what he does on defense. He's been great for us, and I thought he played great tonight.
He's been adjusting too. It's not really adjusting his play as much as just his attitude and taking really the right shots, right? We've always had those games where we think, hey, can you chill out on this, and that? But he's always made the necessary adjustments to really kind of get back on track and not be kind of in the back of our minds as a guy that might hurt us down the line. He's had a few games here and there where he kind of cost us a few victories, I feel like, but he's kind of turned it around and he's not being that annoying threat to us winning a game. He's a good solid, upvote for the Phoenix Suns. And I think that's the most impressive thing. He's just continuing to be more of himself, but it's not threatening the team. It's just really not right now. And I think if the Suns do lose like 4 in a row, 5 in a row, you start pointing fingers. And I feel like he would have probably been the first guy, obviously, even if he's not losing these games, just because I feel like he might be a scapegoat to some fans and some guys in the media or something like that. So it's not going to happen this year. I don't think we're not going to have to worry about that guy, obviously. So, you know, I think it was overall just a great game. Did you have anything else before I get into subreddit stakeout?
Yeah, let me just double check real quick. Sorry, I should have had this more prepped.
Don't worry.
No, I don't think so.
Nothing?
If I can think of it, I'll come up with it at the end of the show. But yeah, nothing else.
All right, let's jump into subreddit.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
I was in New Jersey and I was by myself because they actually are in Brooklyn, but I was looking at the subreddit and there's a lot of fans there that are actually looking forward to them tanking. So it's fun to tank, at least some guys said, keeping victories theoretically within reach. So I feel like it's like the Suns before when we were tanking kind of in a way, but you wanted to see some kind of improvement, which is the hardest thing because everything's just going to be blown up next year. Like there's nothing to hold on. Like even MPJ might be gone. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like it's just like either you're winning or you're losing. And when you're losing, things are going to just turn around quickly. Hopefully next season for the Nets.
Yeah.
Refs being biased won't allow us to be physical, but beep riding the Suns.
I don't agree with that at all. What? It's like vice versa.
Well, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the NBA. I think I'm done with the pod. It's just the same shit. I mean, I don't know why I'm reading this stuff because it's the same thing about. And here we go. We're going to talk about the Suns announcers and how awful they are. Someone said, I have to stream this, so I'm listening to the Suns broadcasting team, and they effing suck. Laugh my ass off. They are so biased, and they keep calling Igor the rookie Shire is pissing me off. So I don't know who Igor is. Obviously, I know.
I'm sorry, you got like 100 new players and 5 new rookies. Come on.
Yeah, and someone said on the back end of that, I turned the sound off. They are really bad. So they get a lot of flack, and I always talk about how much I love them, and I don't like anybody else. So maybe we're just biased. We are probably biased about them. There's talk about Claxton, and I thought Claxton was a more physical player. Obviously, their starting center, and he's a guy that I always wanted the Suns to trade for. But someone said he was soft tonight. After that foul by Dylan Brooks, that was a flagrant. He got hit in the nuts, and he didn't do anything about it. And they were talking about how come he didn't stand back up to Brooks. Maybe because it was an accident? Not sure. So I think that's kind of a clue to the refs, like, hey, it was an accident. So
yeah.
I don't know. And there's a talk about Dylan Brooks being a Draymond Light, playing thug ball. That's, I guess, what he is now, right? He's a Draymond Light player. I don't know. He's not. Draymond's so different, though. He choreographs the whole offense and stuff like that. I know they have the same kind of attitude, but he's a way different kind of player, don't you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't really compare. I would maybe compare the old Dylan Brooks to Draymond, and that would be a comparison, not like they're the same player or anything, but not this season's Dylan Brooks, because this Dylan Brooks is a completely different person, different player, and I'm glad he's on our side, man. And that's what Devin Booker said at Media Day too. He was like, I'm glad he's on our side. Glad we don't have to play against him. So.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to say because it's totally 100% true. It's true. I don't know. I sound like Christopher Walken there. I had one more too, and this I think could have been written throughout the whole game. It talked about MPJ saying, get him the ball and step out of the way. These back-to-back stupid turnovers. So I think that was kind of just the recipe for success for the Nets, not giving him the ball when it's needed. Like, not sure what they're doing. They're throwing the ball out of bounds most of the time. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. I'm surprised they have such a harsh fan base right now, but that was a subreddit stakeout.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Jam star of the game.
Yeah, I didn't do any advertisements at all. I just jumped into this thing, and I think I'm going to just kind of knock them out right now. So, obviously, John, it's been a little while, but I think that we are still presented by DraftKings. Oh, God, dude. It's not even DraftKings. FanDuel. That's the other one. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, FanDuel, we can't really say, I don't think we're supposed to say we're presented. We're supposed to be naturally talking about it, right? I don't really bet ever. But FanDuel, I did use you once, and I think I lost about $50, so I haven't used it since. But did you make any bets using FanDuel tonight on the game?
I did not.
Easy, right?
And at least you got sponsors. So if anybody wants to sponsor SunsGeek, I mean, just hit me up.
We might not anymore, but also this is brought to you by Nettle's Air too. So Nettle, good to see you in the chat. I am back, and I want to say too, thank you to everybody who's saying like, hey, thanks for coming back, Matthew, and you guys all love me and miss me. I do appreciate it. I do see it in the chat. My girlfriend said, how come you don't say anything about it? I'm like, I don't know. I kind of just gloss over it, but I do really appreciate it. And I feel like maybe we got to just stick to basketball. I don't want to get into my feelings and talk about things that might make me upset and cry on the pod. So, we're going to just move on. And I think those are our sponsors. So, John, I apologize. If you want to take my $100 again this month, I'm totally fine with that. But GM start of the game tonight for me is definitely going to be, who do you think is going to be for me? Mark Williams, for sure. Mark Williams, who do you got, SunsGeek?
Mark Williams, but you know me, Matthew. Whenever I'm on this pod, I like to have an honorable mention. Grayson freaking Allen. But Mark Williams is my jam star.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone else is saying too in the chat.
Yep.
You know, there's the Zebras. Nathaniel Darius 5556555 says the Zebras is definitely the jam star of the game. Mark Will equals jam star by Det Neville. Yep. Jam star the Zebras again by the same guy. So obviously he's getting that across to us. Prenup, someone says Matthew. Jam Suns 19. Sol Soto says, yeah, congrats, Lissy. Nettle, thank you for your air conditioners. Williams, for sure. Big Willie Williams. That's from Peyton Janston.
I'm going to start calling him that on my channel now.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't think of that yet. Beamer at 1 says Dylan.
Yeah.
And then David Ray says Brooks and Williams. So obviously great games. Do
no love for Grayson? Come on, guys.
18 points is maybe just not that great, I guess, for some people. But being the third option, I think that's killer. So, but we only scored 106 points too. So, right. All right. Well, next game we have the oh goodness gracious, they are playing Thursday night, and the
Pistons, man.
The Pistons. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Detroit Pistons are coming to town, and it's a revenge game, right? The Suns actually had a chance, I feel like, to win that game. Do you feel with these power rankings coming out, the Suns are, I feel like, our top 4 team when healthy, top 5 team in the NBA? Not saying they're going to win anything, just during the regular season. They're a top 5 team. You don't want to play them. They can beat anybody, but maybe a few teams out west. Are the Pistons one of the teams that really can give the Suns struggles if they were to play them in a series? I know they're in the East Coast.
Yeah.
But this team, do you think they can actually match up well, or how do you see the game going down Thursday night?
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to play them in a playoff series, even though I do believe when we are fully healthy, we're a top 10 team, which is crazy to say because I wasn't saying that earlier during the offseason. But yeah, the Pistons are a really good team, you guys. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship. This is like their first year kind of coming up on the rise. It takes teams time. We saw it with the OKC Thunder, for example. Took the Thunder a few years to finally get that championship. But this team is really damn good, man. We saw that in the last time we played them. We literally took them down to the wire, and it took the final seconds of the game for them to beat us. They showed a graphic on the broadcast, man. They are 31-11 currently. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and Cade Cunningham is clearly an all-star. His last 4 games, he's averaging 18-9 on 42% shooting. But they're kind of like us, man. They have a lot of weapons on their team. They're well coached. It's going to be a tough game, man. So I can't wait to see what happens with that one.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great game. And I think, tonight there wasn't a whole lot of energy in that crowd, but tomorrow or Thursday night, you'll definitely hear that. The crowd will be on their feet for once. And when guys sub in, sub out, you'll actually hear a little bit of cheers. But guys, I think that the crowd was just kind of on their phone the whole time. And I don't blame them. They're kind of just waiting for it to get over with. And like, how did I spend $800 on this ticket? So sorry, fans. I don't know why you guys did that. But yeah, I choose the Suns. I think they can win this game if they have a healthy Devin Booker. Well, he's not going to be returning. I'm sorry. Jalen Green, maybe. But it's going to be tough. Maybe. I think they can still stick with them. Maybe pull out a victory by 1 or 2 points. But until then, I think, SunsGeek, do you have anything else? You want to tell everyone where to find you? Obviously, if you're watching this pod, you have to know exactly what's going on and who he is, right?
Yes. But before I talk about myself real quick, one final thing. After that scuffle, I think it was Ryan Dunn and Mark Williams. They were like, come on. They were getting the crowd all hyped up. I uploaded a YouTube short about it because I was all hyped up. Dude, that was like one of the moments of the season right there. That would have never happened with last year's team. Let's go Suns. The fans started chanting that right after. That's the energy and the Suns culture of this team, as John hops in. So yeah, that's my final thing. But if you guys are new to my channel, if you're watching this podcast for the first time, I am SunsGeek. Been covering the Phoenix Suns on my channel for many, many years. If it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. So make sure to subscribe. I'm on this podcast a lot, and I'm thankful to be on this podcast a lot. And I hope we can do many, many more shows together in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, John, the ghost of John. Obviously, John is tending to a baby, so he hasn't been on the pod about 6 or 7 games. But John, thank you. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Fantastic, man. We got the win, huh?
Yeah, you look slim. Did you trim your beard or something?
I did. I brought the beard down a little bit. Yeah,
it looks good.
I had to look good for Sexy Rexy tonight, man.
Yeah, how did that go with Rex Chapman?
Bright side night.
Yep. Any want to give us a review?
Yeah, it was fun. Great crowd there. Good, quiet. Excuse me. Very,
it's
very
been a while.
good.
It's been 6 or 7 games. Yeah.
It it was a very engaging conversation with Rex Chapman and some quality insights, and just, I don't know, what made today very unique. Dave King's Brightside Night obviously going on. It's the 2-year anniversary of Dave King passing away. And so like his sister was present, some people that he worked with in the past were present, and so it was kind of emotional, at least for me, at the front end of it. And then obviously having Rex come in there and just, again, just quality conversations, good insight as to what this team is, how this team is, and then to see them go out, and a lot of the things that we were talking about were personified on the court tonight, right? I mean, the way that this team fought, and this is a good win. This is a tough win. This is a team that we were kind of doing a good job of taking care of, and then they fought back, and then that scuffle, as SunsGeek we mentioned, occurred, and the place was going nuts, and then the place wasn't going nuts because it was a fucking 15-minute review, and I'm tired and I got to get home. But it's it's just one of those things where overall, just a quality win, much needed for the Suns, because we know that there's an uphill battle that lies before us with Detroit and Cleveland on back-to-backs upcoming. So,
yeah, no, much needed. Did you say the whole game too, to the very end?
Yep. You had to in this one.
Yeah, I know. But I was just thinking, I'm like, I kind of figured they're going to pull away with the victory, but the crowd did stay there, and I guess they had to.
Here's what's funny, though. They said it was a sellout. That place was not a fucking sellout, dude.
Really?
That place, it was empty in there.
I've noticed that too. I've heard them talk about that. They're like, sellout crowd, this number. I'm like, that. They're like, they're not sold out. I'm watching it from my couch. I'm like, they're not sold out.
I went to the Wizards game. Like, there's no way this is going to be busy. We went to our seats and the whole place was packed. I'm like, this is so.
It's because they're Wizards. Tickets were cheap.
Plus, everyone from Washington probably lives here too. So that's usually the thing. No one from New Jersey moved here, right? New Jersey Nets. That's what I've been calling them the whole pod. And I think I missed a few of our sponsors. So if you want to go back and just overdub it, John.
I won't overdub everything. Remember that we're brought to you by Keith Nettles and Nettles Air Conditioning.
I did that one.
And Bubba Chubb's cards.
That's the one I missed.
Oh yeah. So get some cool cards. I got this one in the mail today. That's a 19. That's a Charles Barkley.
I remember there's the first NBA magazine I bought when I was like 7 years old, and it had that picture of Charles on the front cover. I still have that magazine.
Dude, that's sick. This is one of my favorite cards of him.
It's one of my favorite pictures.
He's doing a dunk. He's in the sunburst jerseys. It's a sexy. It was like $1.39.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, what a great night tonight. I'm gonna go 10. I can hear the baby screaming upstairs, so I'm gonna go do that.
Go do that. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go home and love my family.
All right. SunsGeek, anything else before we go?
Nope. Subscribe to both of our channels. Follow the podcasts. We'll see you guys next game after we beat the Pistons, baby. We're gonna beat them.
We are definitely. And go home, love your family, everybody.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.